This is going to be a complete sales objection overcome masterclass. Literally the only training you ever need. I've taken thousands of sales calls. I've closed 35% plus on cold traffic, complete strangers, people that don't know me at all. I've earned over $2 million online with my businesses just so far. So let's dive into exactly what I've learned and the exact framework that I use to overcome literally every objection in the book. It's quite simple, actually. You're going to like this. So pay attention to the end, and you're literally going to become a ninja at overcoming every objection in the world. So probably the first thing I want to share with you, this is like the big secret that, really simplifies things, because especially when you break into sales, like I've been through so many sales trainings and learned from so many different people. And a lot of people say there's like, oh, well, there's 7 objections to overcome. There's only 10 objections. There's 5, there's, whatever. And in reality, I only see 2. If you really like bucket it up, there's only 2 main things why people don't move forward, don't buy. There's only 2 things. There's number 1 is certainty. All right, this is the most important. So are they actually certain that your program, your process, your product is going to get them from point A to point B, where they want to go? That's number 1. It's the most important one. Number 2 is logistics. All right, if they do have certainty, they want it, they want to buy it, logistics is just going to be anything else that would stop them or slow them down from making the purchase. So this could be, I have to move funds around. I want to speak to my spouse. I want to sleep on it for a day. That's my decision-making framework. Any logistical thing that stops them from purchasing right now, that's logistics. And that's literally it. All right, there's certainty and there's logistics. Now, some of you might, like watching right now, might be like, oh, well, what about XYZ objection? Like, oh, they have like a dog, and or I'm trying to think of other objections that come up. I had to speak to my wife, or I had to think about it, blah, blah, blah. A lot of these things are going to be disguised as other objections that they throw at you, other words they say to you, but it's actually these 2 things, either certainty or it's logistics. Like, that is it. That's the only possible things that's actually going on. And so your first job, when you say the price and they come up with some objection, your first job is to find what is the real objection. Is it certainty or is it logistics? And so if they say really almost anything they could throw at you of, oh, wow, that's expensive, or I need to think about it, I need to talk to someone else, the first thing I'm always doing is tying down uncertainty, because certainty is the most important thing you want to take care of first. If they don't have certainty around the process, around the program, there is 0% chance they're going to buy. 0. Absolutely 0. They're never buying if they don't have certainty. So that's the first thing you need to get clear on, is do they have certainty in the process? So we do this with a tie down. All right, so this could be as simple as, let's say they say, that's too much money. All right, let's say they say that I don't have that money. What I would say is something like this. Okay, well, no problem. Just like money aside, I mean, the process specifically on how it actually get you from point A to point B, like, do you feel 100% certain that's what you need to make that happen? Something like that. Basically clarifying about the process, like money aside, besides money, is there anything else giving you less than 100% certain that this is the perfect process for you to get the dream outcome that you want? Or now obviously make it tailored to whatever the offer is. But that's the tie down. And then they're either going to say, yes, absolutely, with certainty in their tonality. So now it's very important. Listen to their tonality. Don't just listen to their words. All right, so they might say, yes, absolutely. Then that's boom. You have green-lighted certainty. They're all in. All right. Or it might be something that they might say, well, I'm just not sure about XYZ. They might tell you their actual concern, and that means there isn't certainty yet, and you have to overcome that. You have to answer their concerns. Or they might give you kind of a white lie where they're like, yeah, probably. They'll say something like that. We're just like, there's no certainty in their tonality, how they're saying it. And so you have to listen to their tonality and say, okay, they're clearly not certain how they said that. Like, oh, I think so. And so they're clearly not certain. And so you basically want to call them out on it. Okay, you think so. What's really going on here? What about the process do you have concerns about? And you want to get, what is the real concern here? What's the real objection? All right, that's the biggest thing here. A lot of people, when they break into sales, they'll study their scripts, their objection overcomes, which is great, but you have to know the actual first principles behind it. The first principles are, there's only 2 objections in the board. There's certainty, and then there's logistics. That's it. That is absolutely it. And so certainty is the most important thing. Like I said, you need to get clear on that first. So every time you get any objection, you're basically always looping the certainty. Make sure they're certain first, because if they don't have that, there's nothing else to be done. All right, it doesn't matter. It doesn't making sense to haggle about money, payment plans, etc. if they don't have certainty. They don't have certainty, the payment plans don't matter, or the terms don't matter if there's no certainty. All right, so that's the first thing you gotta do. So let's say you get certainty. Let's say they're 100% certain this is the perfect thing for them. Then it's logistics. What's the actual logistical issue stopping them from, whipping out their credit card and doing this thing right now? All right, so when it comes to this, there's obviously a lot of logistical things that can come up. They could be, a money thing where they literally have to move funds. Could be that they want to sleep on it for a day. They have this decision making framework in their head of they had to sleep on things for a day, make sure they feel good. It's a logistical thing. All right, could be they want to talk to a spouse, or it's another decision making framework of I have to speak to a spouse to make decisions, blah blah blah. All right, that's all logistics. All right, as long as you're talking about uncertainty, that is just a logistical thing. All right, and so what you to really simplify this for you, there's tons of things you can memorize and perfect objection overcomes, blah blah blah, all these sequences you can do. But the thing that's really helped me here to really make this as simple as possible and also make it really authentic, not be super salesy with it, is I'll turn into problem solving mode, brainstorming mode. So I imagine myself on the same side of the table with them. I'm literally just brainstorming solutions. How do we overcome this logistical thing so they can move forward? So I'm literally just thinking and brainstorming, listening to them, saying, how can we solve this problem? So for example, someone has to move funds or getting paid on Friday or whatever. They don't have all the money yet. Then I go into brainstorming, solution solving mode. I'm like, okay, what can we do here? I'll literally, on this call, I'll literally turn my head up and look up to the right or the left and think. Literally, that's what I'm doing. And so, example of how to overcome this is you just offer them how to overcome these logistics. So for example, I could say okay, well, no problem. What we could do, I could actually get you rolling, get you access to everything, get started today, so we can start making progress literally tonight. All we'd have to do is really put down a smaller deposit, and then we could just knock out the rest when you get paid on Friday. Would you be open to something like that? And just throw out the solution at them. Boom. And so if they have certainty, and it's a truly logistical thing, that solves their problem. That's all you have to do. All right, let's say I had another one where someone had to speak to their wife. And so logistically, I was just going through the logistical problem solving. I'm okay, no problem, man. I understand. Another small tidbit here is I always say no problem. Whenever they bring up some objections, I'm concerned, I always say no problem. Because you want to diffuse it. You want to cool the tension. All right, a lot of newer salespeople, they'll get in and they'll get combative with people. They come at them with something, they're oh man, it's too much. They're oh, well, you can't afford not to do it. And they just kind of start fighting them, And it's not how it works. You're not going to close many, you will close some deals, but it's going to be the worst sales because they're the worst clients because they're not really going to like you. They're kind of going to, be agitated by the way the sale was made. So definitely not the best approach. And so you don't want to be combative, but you want to be, a depressurizer. So I like to always say no problem. I like to crack jokes sometimes and just cool down the tension. All right. So what was I saying here? So another situation, let's say they want to talk to their wife. This came up, I don't know, I was on a call a month or two ago and I remember this. And so I was just went to logistical problem solving. I'm okay, no problem, man. I probed a little bit, okay, what is your wife going to think of that? What questions might she have? What concerns might she have? And then he basically said, I just kind of had to get the green light by her. I think she'd be in once I, talk to her about everything. I'm okay, no problem. Is she home right now? And he said, yeah, she's home. I'm okay, cool. You want to go talk to her right now? I got about, 15 minutes until my next call. Go ahead, go talk to her. And so we went and talked to her real quick, 5-10 minutes, came back, boom, credit card. We did the thing, got started. Logistics. All right, stop overcomplicating. Literally just become a logistical problem solver. That's all you have to do. So the certainty is the first big thing. The thing that most people get wrong. If you don't have that, you're screwed. Logistics is kind of easy. You literally stop overcomplicating. Stop thinking it's sales, jujitsu and being a ninja and stuff, and psychology. That plays a role, but really you're just being a logistical problem solver when some logistical thing when they're truly 100% certain. All right, so the hardest part about this is going to get them to be 100% certain on the process. So I'll give you another really good thing you can do to avoid objections. All right, so to pre-handle objections before you get to the price. So after I do the pitch, I recommend everyone does this. After they do their pitch, explain how it works, blah, 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 and you're about to get to the price, always do a trust tie down. All right, trust tie down. So this would basically be cool. I mean, so that's the process overall. I mean, how do you feel about it? Like, do you feel like this is what you need? And say something like that. That's a trust tie down. And so what they're going to respond with is either the answer that we want, which would be, oh, absolutely, this is perfect. With certainty. They're certain about the process already. And so that greenlights us on certainty. Or they might say, I think so. Or, that's a little bit uncertain. Or they might come up with concerns or questions right there, and we can answer them. And then if they do have some concerns and stuff, you always want to re-temp check them. So I always go to a scale of 1 to 10. I'm like, okay, man, appreciate it a lot. I mean, what's really important to me is alignment, because I'm going to be all in on the trenches with you on this. I mean, just for clarity of mind, like, about the process specifically, how do you feel on, like, let's say a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being, you hate me, I smell bad, you want to hang up right now, and 10 being, like, this is perfect for what I need to achieve X, Y, Z. Where do you feel like you fall? And so they're going to give you a number. If it's 8, 9, or 10, that's pretty good. I would ask them, okay, why so high? And I would ask them, is there anything else can be less than 100% certain? Then I would overcome that concern, answer their questions, show them proof, whatever needs to be done. And that's the process. You just want to get them to like a 10 out of 10, or at least a 9 out of 10. If they're 9 out of 10, like that's just about 10 out of 10. And that's it. Like, that's what you do. And that's how you pre-handle certainty. And so that way you can go into the price, and it's really just you're handling logistics, and then it becomes easy. All right, so that's going to be the easiest way to go about it. Is pre-handling certainty. All right, and that way, again, you're just left with one objection, which is logistics. Then you become a problem solver. All you do is listen, and you're like, okay, how do we solve this? All right, you don't have to be a sales ninja. You don't have to be, crazy, like psychology manipulator, like 2000. Like, you don't need this crazy stuff. You just need to listen and be a logistical problem solver. And so thinking about sales this way, I mean, for me at least, it really simplified things, and it let really decrease pressure. Because before, I'd be reading all these sales books, sales trainings, and I had to, try and memorize all these different responses. Like, yes, I have things memorized now as like the best responses, what works best. But like, I'm really able to actively listen and have a real conversation with a human. And that's what a lot of like guys are missing nowadays when they have a sales call. They're not listening. They're trying too hard to follow a certain process and be a robot and just read off a script. And like, it doesn't work too well doing that, because people can always feel it. The person on the other side can always feel it if you're just being a robot. And so if you're actually genuinely listening, you genuinely care, you're trying to solve their problems genuinely, they can feel that energy. That's going to result in so many closed deals, or so many more. All right, so that's the objection masterclass right here. So remember, certainty and logistics. If you do these two things, you overcome these two things, you're going to be golden. You're going to be closing a whole lot more deals. So hope this video helps. If you are an online coach and you want all of our lead gen and sales systems, things that help us make hundreds of thousands of dollars every month, or millions of dollars over the course of my career so far, go ahead, click the link below. I have an offer for you. It's a pretty good offer. Check it out if you're interested, if you're online coach only. And we'll talk soon. But that's it. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.